Good evening, welcome to the studio this evening, and welcome to some more pyrography, which I will get on with now. Okay, outside of the head needs some work on, just around there, possibly around here as well, but we're going to work on this area here. And see how it goes. Now this is where the light actually works against me, because it's reflects off of what I'm doing. I'm doing it again, automatically starting in the same place every time, and that's the wrong thing to do. Well, generally speaking, it's the wrong thing to do. Sometimes you might want it to do something like that. And I tell you what I've also not done, and that is swap glasses. So this will be a BRB because my glasses are elsewhere. I need to just go get them. Okay guys, I am now back. Sorry about that. Oops, and why is that 3D pen on the floor? I think the answer to that is pussycats. So we shall just push that over there. Let's take this pair of glasses off and switch them for this pair of glasses. Like so. That's better. And yeah, so turning this round, working generally speaking, working it within the scope of the curve of my hand. If you do that, it makes it easier to do smooth curves. With practice you can do them on the outside curve. It is just practice. I can do it, but I'm feeling lazy tonight. Well, I'm not feeling lazy, I'm feeling somewhat less than lazy, but I kind of don't want to concentrate on trying to create smooth curves tonight. Mind you, I'm doing hair. Smooth curves don't matter. Doing hair. Just excuse me a second. And I'm back. So just answering a query there from Lady Zara. And I have to start to remember how on earth I was doing this on the other side. Just from the point of view of duplicating the technique, but it's been a couple of days. And only a few hours sleep since then. So... this area of hair is relatively dark. Down that side. Bit there. Gets darker down. Yeah, okay. So, slight shorthand talking to myself there, but essentially just trying to decide where the light is, where the dark areas are. And now, trying to make this look like hair. And hello, Junior. Are you going to sit there and watch with a visitor? Hello. You're just going to look at me a bit disgusted and turn around, or you're going to sit there? That's alright. Junior, for those of you who are watching that don't know, is a pussycat. He's the model for one of the portraits that was done on stream, one of the cat portraits a long time ago now. So he's one of the original models. He visits stream occasionally, just to catch up on what's going on, I think. At the moment he's sat just off camera over there. And yeah, I know I should have a cat cam, shouldn't I? But I don't. Not at the moment. And not for a while. No, temperature's okay. That's probably just my mood. This seemed to be colouring really slowly. I'm probably just making an attempt to rush without consciously thinking about it. And here he comes. Come on then, let me put the hot pen down. But you have to sit on my knee. That paw that you can see, or paws, that's Junior. Hello. Come on then. Come on. Now I'm going to persuade him. He's not a cat that takes to physical persuasion much. He has a tendency to react to that with teeth. Come on. So you can just see him here. Sort of this bit. Sorry, camera. Oh, camera's backwards. That's his tail end. Yes, come on. No, don't do that. You'll pull threads in my jumper. Not only that, you've got dirty feet. Cats are supposed to be clean. Why haven't you washed your feet? So that's his tail. Might obvious, I guess, but that's his tail. It'll be wanting attention in a minute, so. But yeah, settle down. Come on, settle down. Well, at least he's purring. That's a relatively unusual thing for this pussycat. Oh, you're feeling quite dopey tonight, aren't you, Junior? He's got his head down, looking for milk. That's Lady Zara. Perhaps you'd like to go sit on Lady Zara's knee. I know she'd love it if you did. Have a Junior sat on your knee. Oh, okay. I think you still love it if you had a Junior sat on your knee. Okay. Okay, he looks half dope to me. He is. He's being a kitten again. See. He's sorry about the upside down, but that's just the way the camera is. But there he is. The way he's acting at the moment is kind of really kitten-like. It's the way they react to their mother cats, with the head down like that, looking for milk in the mother cat. And when they're like that, they're either wanting some sort of reassurance, or he's just stroking him just like a mother cat would, wash him perhaps, and he just gets zoned out. Yeah. This cat, I mean, it must be something like that, because this cat actually doesn't normally like his tummy stroked. A lot of cats do. Male cats tend not to. He's a male cat. Female cats love it, but male cats, nah. And occasionally they do, but he's somewhat mesmerised. Yep, he's trying to. He is somewhat mesmerised. He's trying to fall over. There we go. There isn't quite enough room here, is there? There we go. I'll let you sit there rather than make you want to turn over. We'll let you sit there. And I shall carry on with the pyrography and try and keep this cable out of his way, because he'll start trying to bite it if I'm not careful. Right, you've had your portrait done. You're not due for another one yet. In fact, for cat portrait wise, the next one would be Cleo, who is the only female cat in the house at the moment. I do say at the moment because occasionally they move in, like this one did, from somewhere. No idea. He was kind of a feral cat, and it took about 2 years for him to be tame enough to basically even to stroke him, because if you went near, he'd come in the house and he'd actually sit and watch television. But if you went near him, he'd start huffing, literally huffing, and if you closed the door to his exit, whatever he thought his exit was, he'd do the same thing. He'd start huffing, and if you went anywhere near him, he'd strike out with his claws. But of course, Then over 2 years he mellowed, shall we say. But now what? I mean, well, you can't see anymore, but he's having his head stroked here. He's closing his eyes, putting his head up, and he's quite calm. Still does go with the claws and teeth sometimes, especially if you catch him unawares, or you do something he really doesn't like. Then he will, or doesn't trust you. Then the claws come out and the teeth come out. 9 out of 10 times with the teeth, though, he just puts them on you. He doesn't actually bite, but he does just sort of close his teeth against you and stops. But of course, you don't know what he's going to do. He might do that, or he might just continue, because he used to do that, and he still does occasionally. So you never actually know whether. So you're always avoiding the fact that he's about to close his teeth on you. I usually am faster than he is, so I succeed. Hello, yes, but that's my jumper. You'll put claw marks in it. Well, you'll pull the threads. And this one's a decent jumper, so I don't want you to do that. And of course, I'm talking to a cat, but we always do. People who have cats talk to their cats. Sometimes the cats talk back. When they talk back in English is when you get worried. Well, French, I get worried, but and many other languages. But you know what I mean. Okay. So, right, and then we'll do, okay. Doing a really good job on the other side. Why does this not look quite? Probably, yeah, just fine detail again. To me, the lack of fine detail always doesn't, well, never looks good. It possibly does, but to me it always looks somewhat wrong. Like with hair, I mean, you expect sort of fine-ish strands of hair, you don't expect sort of inch-thick bars. So this hairstyle is all under and over. Lots of hair going in lots of directions, under and over, and so I need to sort of just, I'm not making any attempt whatsoever. I'm using a reference photograph. You could say I'm copying the reference photograph, but I'm not actually attempting to match the actual hairstyle. I am just attempting to give a flavour of that hairstyle to make it resemble, to mimic it. So under and over, as I'm doing here. Right, so that wants to go darker, especially at the edges, because that's further away from the flash. So now we can actually apply some shading to this. So we've got basic, well, we got advanced texture in there, as opposed to basic texture. We have a hair texture. Now I'm going to make it more believable, which involves shading. So I'm kind of cheating really, because this isn't actually like that. Yeah, you don't particularly, you want attention again. In other words, I've disturbed you. Hello. Yes, you can have a little bit, but I'm streaming. That means I'm broadcasting. What I'm broadcasting is what I'm doing, Pyrography Pussycat. And they don't particularly want to just, people don't just want me to see me sat here with a pen in my hand. Although that does happen a lot when I'm talking. Mind you, if I pointed the camera at you, then they wouldn't care whether I was talking or not. They'd just watch you. The internet likes pussycats. Yes, it does. You lot are famous. Especially when you do funny things like forward rolls and go to the toilet in a toilet and things like that. Part of the reason he stood up was because I'm actually leaning over the top of him. He's actually a, shall we say, he's quite a polite pussycat. In that respect, you know, if you want to get up to go somewhere, anywhere, whatever reason, I don't know. Cats have this, seem to have this sixth sense, or ours do. If it was Lady and I, if I suddenly thought for some reason I was about to get up to, I don't know, make a cup of coffee, he'd get off me. There must be some sort of involuntary movement or something that they recognise, and 9 out of 10 times that happens. The 10 out of 10 time you can use a hurricane wind and they won't move. If they decide to stay in there, then not a lot will shift them. So for the minute it's just a light bit of shading, because we'll come back to it. And I'll be doing do some more of the hair, and then I will come back to do more shading. even the odd slight mistake isn't really a problem when you're doing hair like this. I accidentally sort of created a slightly darker area there than I wanted, but it's fine with hair, because of course the textures and hair is all sorts of different shades and colours. Even when it's all one colour, it's not all one colour. So yeah, that's kind of a really fluffy sort of top tip. A tip when you're working from reference photos: get the highest resolution photographs you can, especially if you intend to blow them up. Luckily these days most people who use things like iPhone cameras and things never bother adjusting the resolution, so you usually get sort of fairly high resolution pictures. But there again, you sometimes get the person that for some reason set it on quite a low resolution, or they were trying to save memory, or take lots of photographs in a limited amount of memory, and then the resolution becomes a problem with fine detail. Hair being one of them, because it just sort of frizzes. It looks frizzed. Which is just down to the fact that the resolution is Thank you. I have been talking to myself obviously for 5 minutes there. I thought I'd unmuted it earlier. I muted it because Lady Zara asked me a question from elsewhere in the house, which required me to speak somewhat louder than normal, shall we say. And I did not want to deafen everybody with this microphone. So I muted it and completely forgot. I thought I'd unmuted it, but obviously didn't. Completely forgot to check. So thank you very much. Hello and welcome. Thank you. At least you were probably getting the music, even though you could see I was... I've probably spent about 10 minutes in about the last half hour, I've probably taken about 20 minutes talking about Junior here. To myself, obviously. Ah dear. Such is life of streaming. So, how are you, Claire? How's things going? Lip reading is hard. I used to be quite good at it. I am not anymore, but there again, on Twitch it's a little bit hard anyway for some reason. I don't know if it's the frame rate or something like that, but... Or maybe it's the angle of the camera. I'm looking at myself here and I probably couldn't lip read either. Okay. It's a while since... Well, I've only talked to him once. He rang me. Because he didn't have something I was asking for. What perchance was your reason for having a chat with Jeff? Nice and friendly guy, though. You know, I never thought of that. I never thought of that. It's obvious, but I never thought of that. Of course, now I can say, Claire. Actually, what I did think of was the opposite one, but well, it's decent, decent stuff he sells. So, I mean, as you know, I don't particularly have a problem mentioning that. It's not the sort of thing I tend to sort of mention every 10 minutes, and if somebody asks, I tend I'm not bothered about saying. I think I'd be more inclined to ask Jeff for a discount if many people did buy stuff from his shop. Does that mean you've been buying more stuff? Square ring? Oh, square wire you mean? Or do you actually mean square rings? Yeah, he's good at doing that sort of thing. Exchanging them or you know, sorting it out. Indeed. That's precisely it, isn't it? Square wire, yeah. I've kind of looked at square wire is something I've sort of half been interested in having a play about with, just to, because there are some chainmail patterns that work with square wire and some that doesn't. Mainly because, of course, being square, it doesn't twist. So you know what I mean. It's something like candy cane where there's the gaps are smaller, shall we say. You know, a round ring will rotate, a square ring won't. So it could put, you know, some interesting designs with square rings. I wonder if they're starting to. I wonder, because I've talked to him in the past and sort of said that, you know, I love the Dark Rose, and I think quite a few other people have as well. So maybe maybe they're starting to be made as an actual colour. No, I haven't looked at Twitter today. Work stuff. So at this moment in time I kind of can't really afford to look at Twitter any time except on an evening, and I'm streaming on the evening. Okay. Yeah, and well, I know where they come from. The Dark Rose was originally a special order. The suppliers, and they were what was left over, basically. I was only thinking today, I wish I could actually sell more a day than I do at the moment. I'd love to be able to sell about 10 or 15 a day. Not rings, bracelets. And then, because I'd kind of love to be able to do a large chainmail and just yeah, have a play about with new designs and stuff, but as you know, the rings, whilst not expensive, are not cheap. They are. That colour is an absolutely wonderful colour. I mean, that's why I've sort of reserved them for that dragon scale, and to do another one if anybody wants them. Yeah, I kind of know that feeling, Claire. Just, it's time. Well, it's time, exposure, and everything else. You're now getting into the just how much it costs and how much you need to sell them for, and it's a hard market. Yeah. Well, of course, the one dragon scale I've got is although it's a production sample. Lady Zara has all, you know, has free use of all the production samples, shall we say? unless it's been made specifically for her, and then it's hers. But yeah, I'm sort of willing to make another one, but well, that'll be it, because there is no more rings, as you know. Yeah, special order, that's right. I'm actually wondering if I've got that one up on the Etsy shop, and if I haven't, I'm going to wonder why. Actually, I should start doing some Easter designs now. Or some Easter colours, shall I say. So have you tried any more weaves out? Are you still perfecting your box? Yeah, don't necessarily have. You will recall I'm not an expert. I can, but it either works or it doesn't. That looks upside down, but can I rotate this? No. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about there. Black ice, purple, and dark rose. My guess. Although you have managed to actually get purple that looks like purple. Yeah, there we go. You say I was right. I'm not sure the dark rose actually offers much in that. Okay, so your black ice is the edge sides, and then the purple and the dark rose are the main alternating colour. Oh no, you've used black ice on the. Okay. The black ice and purple, the dark rose seems a bit lost. It could be just the lighting. But of course, don't forget, it's an opinion, and everybody's colour sense is different, and my colour sense is not very good. It's just kind of like well, as you know, I know that dark rose colour, and it is a special colour, and it sort of doesn't seem to be shown off to its best there. It's I'm not going to say it's bad. It's not bad. It's okay. It's nice. It's a good colour combination. It's a nice sized bracelet. You've closed the rings well. I like the I guess it's antiqued silver things. Two, two, and two. Three colour in the. So it was 3 colour in the 4 block. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. Purple. Actually, it's a nice match the way you've done it, because you actually have sequenced it so that they actually form a band, which actually looks quite good. Yeah, the photograph lets it down. Actually, I don't mean that badly. The really hard thing with these is, as you know, they are so shiny and so sort of beautiful colours, whatever colours you've picked. I mean, you could do it white and green. Interesting colour combination. You could do it white and green and it looks good. And it's really hard to get that. And when you see it in person and when you see they're not quite the same. Nah, it's alright, Claire. Because I do know what the colours are like. And as I say, you've actually got purple there. Just about every photograph I see, the purple looks... So it comes out as a luminescent blue. Which it does on my cameras as well. It is possible. Oh, of course, that's on your mat, isn't it? I mean, that's why you've seen. Well, if you've seen on the shop, I've got mixed wood surface and white paper. It's a surface, and I tend to pick. I'll take about 10 photographs, 10 or 20 photographs, and I'll pick a couple or 3 out of them. That's best. Okay. Yeah, looked blue on stream. Yeah. I cannot work our way out of doing it. I mean, it's the camera is more blue sensitive, I think, is just what it is. But even the stills camera I use does that. Never thought of actually using the camera phone. One of the tricks that I use is to move further away and zoom in. You get better pictures that way as well. So rather than trying to get too close, get further away and use the zoom on the, not digital zoom, but real zoom on a normal camera to get in close. And it changes the perspective surround, gives you a better view of it. But yeah, purple. So there are some cameras that do represent purple. It makes me want to do another one as well, but I'm doing this at the moment and I'm doing carving afterwards. Maybe tomorrow afternoon I'll do something. Actually, no, I won't tomorrow afternoon. I've got to apply for a job tomorrow. Actually, I want to apply for 2 jobs tomorrow, doing the same thing. 2 chances. Maybe I ought to do the lottery as well. Then I don't need to apply for the jobs. But if I win, which is not gonna happen, but there again it might. Then I can make as much jewellery as I want. Those colour combinations, I think you definitely need a real shiny look to them. I shall carry on with this because otherwise jewellery critique is not really the intent of this particular stream. I thought I'll have to start charging consultancy. I can't remember if it's you or with Fluffy Twiglet calls the blue the magic blue. No, don't worry about it. In respect to that, I am only teasing. I am only teasing. Strictly speaking, we're in competition. But meh. Well, I'm going to say either the market's big enough for all of us, or it ain't going to change much anyway, whatever we do. So, yeah, you are. You know, I've had a conversation today about confidence. And I was literally about, I said, yeah, you are. I mean, it's about confidence. Once you get the skills of handling the rings properly, the skill level increases as you do more complex ring patterns, or you do them faster. Generally speaking, and the more complex or the more awkward ring patterns, it takes more skill to do as you're working out. And I sort of say you ought to have confidence in yourself. And I've been had a conversation today about what the hell can I do. I'm swearing now. What can I do as another job? Because the way which I'm a generalist in the job where I am at the moment. So to apply for another job where people want specialists, basically, they always want specialists. They want a manager of X or somebody who can do Y, and generalists have a hard time. And I'm just thinking then, I ought to have more confidence. What I just stopped for, because I was going to looking for something that's on my desk. At least I think it's on my desk. Well, it is on my desk. Question is whether I've got it on my desk. Yeah, that's here. What that reminds me of is this. In fact, I'll put it on a white background. And you might... Now, if you look at the photograph, actually reminded me of this. Okay. This is a purple and blue. In actual fact, it is purple and sky blue, and this is anodized, but this is titanium. And as you can see, it's kind of a dusty looking colour. I hesitate to describe it as dull because it's not dull. It actually resembles a dusty looking colour. Your photograph reminded me of this because it kind of looks dusty. I don't mean you've covered it in dust or it's dirty or anything like that. It's missing the shine. I know you can see the reflection. It's missing the shine. Tell you what would probably help with that is a bright light, not a flash, because I find flash quite often. When you try flash, it's too much of a spot. and the weight bounces back. It's okay if there's plenty of light around because of contrast. So you might try. One thing I try actually is daylight. Try it on a windowsill in the daylight to take a photograph if you want to take photographs of them. That would help enormously. It's a lot brighter. Or a fairly large light. Try and avoid sort of spotlights type of thing. I mean, I'm using an LED strip. It's not fantastic for this, but for that purpose it's not quite bright enough. But something with a fair amount of whitish, reasonable white light rather than slightly warm is usually best, although it depends on the colours that you've used. If you're using some of the pale colours, then a cool light is better. Chalky, yeah, that's right. Too scared to try other weaves. Not quite sure why you would. Why scared? What the worst that's going to happen is you'll get the weave wrong, and if you do what I do with all my test patterns that I do, which are either on, you should use this down on my desk, right? Small test patterns, is I never reuse the rings again. So every time I do a test pattern, if it fails, and sort of, this isn't a fail as such because I use this pattern for a necklace, but not I was intended to use it as a bracelet, but it doesn't work. There's things like that happen, that ring pops out. It's sort of a fail, if you like. I don't reuse the rings, not for a commercial product. I might take that apart to use the rings to do another test weave, but worst case is you've wasted a few rings. Yeah, I know that's can add up fairly quickly, but try it. The worst is you end up with a weave that's too tight, too sloppy, or just wrong. The pictures I'm looking at. Sorry, I keep hopping backwards and forwards. Pictures I'm looking at it. The light. It is the lighting. It's the exposure. Now that I look at it and I've worked it out, it is the exposure. Yeah, there's not enough light for that camera. And as you say, it looks chalky because of that. That's. It has a look of a very low resolution photograph. I know it's not, but yeah, you have to be a little bit careful, Claire, reusing rings, because as you bend them, they work harden, and if you bend you can bend and unbend them a few times, but the more that you do, the harder the wire becomes, and the more prone to just snapping for almost no apparent reason. So whilst I would manipulate one bracelet, take rings on if I need to shorten it, or because I've got something wrong, and put it on, my personal philosophy, if you like, is I wouldn't take that apart to make another commercial bracelet. I might take it apart and make a test bracelet, or one for me, because I understand, that, but it wouldn't be one I'd sell. But that's my philosophy. It's perfectly okay. They probably last for tens of years. I just choose not to. Yeah, that's right. Use them for yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna say. I kind of can't use them for myself. I probably don't think I'd. Well, you don't know. Maybe I would look good with a blue ice, sky blue and red. I don't know. I'm making these colours up. I don't actually know what. I mean, traditionally it's either black and silver for fellas, isn't it? But Actually, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I mean, I'm wearing a bright yellow jumper for sake. As you can probably just see. And I'm not bothered. There's nothing wrong with a bright yellow jumper. I quite like, well, I know why it's bright yellow. That's Lady's hair. It's one of her favourite colours is bright yellow. So there tends to be a lot of bright yellow things, but I don't mind. There's 15 well, there is 15 different colours, you know, or 16 if you include dark rose. You ordered 5 bags. 3 or 4 bracelets. Of course, you probably mix champagne with something else. Yeah, Buck's face. Actually, no, you can't have that. I just thought of a name for a bracelet, and it's an obvious one, isn't it? With champagne and another colour. Jeff only had 3 bags. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, what? No, that's a different conversation for later on if we ever get to selling 10s a day. Thank you. I do actually like to name bracelets. Well, you'll have worked it. I do actually like to name them if I can. If there's a story behind them, I like to name them. And Bucks Fizz is a name actually sort of tweaks my sense of humour a little bit. You might change your mind if it turns out to be the most popular bracelet ever. There's the colour range, and red, and silver, and yellow, and sky blue, and the magic blue there, and a lighter magic blue, bronze, black's quite good, the gold's nice, of course the pink's quite pretty as well, and silver's a decent colour, and there's I've never actually used the white yet because they're not shiny. And royal blue I like, and of course the red's a nice saturated colour, and the green goes quite with it as well. And there again, of course, there's the oranges, orange and yellow, orange and champagne, Buck's face. Actually, looking at it, they probably would go together quite well, orange and champagne. I don't think I've found a colour combination that actually doesn't go together. When you do it, it sounds odd when you start, but then when you actually do it and put them together, it goes, well, it's not actually as bad as it sounds. Yeah, black and white. It's more of a grey, I suppose, than white, but it's obviously a lot lighter than the black ice, which is sort of a grey. But yeah, I got all colours, just mainly because I couldn't decide when I bought these. So I bought, I think, 4 complete sets of colours in, well, a set of colours in 4 different ring sizes and dimensions, and then a smattering of others just to experiment with. Bronze and champagne, yeah. I was about, having just said every time you do, you put together unlikely combinations, and generally speaking they look good. I was just looking at that and going, I'm not sure about bronze and champagne. They're a bit close, and they're completely contradicting the statement I just made about how they quite often look good when you do it. I mean, that's kind of one of the nice things about things like the green and the seafoam, the royal blue and the sky blue, yellow and gold. and you've got the champagne and the bronze, and I suppose the white and one of the others comes into it a little bit, or maybe white and silver. You've got a light and a dark version. Same with the purples. I suppose it's only the orange, and I suppose you got pink and dark rose if you want to use them up. There's only the orange, which really doesn't have a counterpart, a light version. I suppose you could use the gold as a light orange as well as a in combination. Yeah. Ah, well, I'm talking now, rubbish. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking though you need something with something like subtle variations like that. You kind of well, I was about to say maybe need blocks of colour, but I'm actually suddenly thought something like this where it looks random. You just get sort of flecks of lighter and darker type of thing, because it doesn't look regular from that perspective. You know, when you look at something like full Persian, it's real regular, and you know you'd see it. And I think that's why I love the candy cane, because it's a lot more subtler, because it does look so random. It's not quite as in your face as that's red and green. You kind of study candy cane and go, okay, well, there's yellow in there and there's pink, and I mean, if you actually look at if I had a bold colour along with the light ones, like I did with the yellow, I suppose, the yellow and silver, you can actually see the spiral. You can actually see the pattern, the spiral. But when you look at it like that, it just looks random, and your eyes do tend to follow, like the blue, for example. That's one reason why I love the candy cane. Is it just so random and yeah, so random. Never use pink and red together, will clash. I'll take your word for it. I wouldn't know it clashed unless it got up and hit each other. I'm an artist, and I cannot tell a clashing colour for anybody. Now there's pink in here, you see, pink and red side by side. You can't see that, of course, but they're being so different to each other. Of course, the other thing you need to take into consideration, clothing wise, pink and red maybe, the pink, with them being highly reflective, the pink will probably take on the colour of red anyway if you put it alongside. So you may or may not have a point there. Sort of thing I'd have to physically probably put a test length together just to see. Of course, anybody who's watching, feel free to join in the conversation if you want. I know it's about chainmail and I'm doing pyrography, but it's I don't normally well I've generally stopped describing it as chainmail because everybody thinks of armour, and you know, chainmail, great big iron, you know, vests and things like that. How can that be jewellery? That's not bad. I'd probably manage about an hour, including getting the rings out, opening them, and making. Generally, yeah, generally a bracelet round the hour. Well, depending on the size, obviously, but around the hour mark for a bracelet. 2.5 hours for a necklace, 16-inch necklace, 18 inch. Which is daft because it's more, generally speaking, more than twice a bracelet length. But there are some which are faster, and some that are slower. Obviously, something Candy Cane is slower. Half Persian is fast because it uses about a third of the rings of anything else. But if you got that fast that quick, you're doing well. Mind you, it does depend on the size. Ring sizes that you're using as well. You've used 1/4 inch rings, you know, you get there quite quick. That's interesting. That looks like grey hair on screen. 736, yeah. I actually love using the little rings, but can't justify it for many of the bracelets. If I start sort of down at 1/8, and you know, it's about 3 hours to make a bracelet, so they look great, but they're just so expensive. And when you see Japanese imports, or sorry, Chinese imports, with not sterling silver, with silver plate, and they're going for sort of effectively going for about 50p, and you know. So folks, those of you that are watching, you know, handmade stuff unfortunately takes time, but you know, generally they are a high quality, because we spend the time to make sure they're high quality, both in the materials that we're using and the time we spend, you know, putting the things together and checking them, quality checking them and things like that. And whilst I don't have any past broadcasts on Twitch at the moment, I think I've got at least one broadcast or one video up on YouTube with having made jewellery, so you can see we don't hang about. But it still takes quite a long time, and I'm sure Claire there. You're thinking about £12.50 plus shopping. I think you meant shipping. Bloody it's in the right ballpark, I think, Claire. I mean, obviously, obviously, I don't really want you to undercut me, but you can look at my prices, and we probably use different clasps because I use sterling silver, as you know. It's all right. It's in the right. It's in the right ballpark for in the competition. I think in the UK. I mean, you're competing with me. You can look at my prices; they're in that sort of ballpark. I'm competing with you, and with other people. But in actual fact, if I was to price a something like your box bracelet there, or any of mine, at the rates that I should be pricing them at, based on as I would do at work, pricing something up, it would be in the order of about £25. Sort of at least double that. So that it's. I'm talking economics here and commercial economics and things. And we're sort of really revealing sort of commercial secrets, but there's not a lot of margin on that sort of price. I would say you already are, Claire, or at least making box bracelets. But thank you very much for the compliment. Thank you. I noticed you mentioned Etsy there. My tip for Etsy would be to get as much on as many different items on there as you can, from the perspective of there's more for people to look at, there's more chance for them to come across something, and also it has. I've got a feeling, although they never stipulate it, that it has an effect on the search rankings as well. Yeah, your Bing struggles as well, but yeah. Autocorrect didn't get you that time, unless that means something else entirely. I suppose the one thing about Etsy is I don't know. I guess it has a listing fee, and they can add up if you're not careful. I know it's not a fantastic amount, but they do add up. It's part of the overhead of business and what have you. And of course, don't forget, by the way. No, Junior, don't bite me. But I do want you to remove your claw. He's now gone, as you heard. He complained because he got his claw caught in my jumper, and I was trying to move it because I didn't want him to pull the thread. And yeah, don't forget, things like listing fees, payment fees, and selling fees all come out of your £12.50. Junior, indeed that was. So there's, I have no idea whether you actually have the experience or more experience than me, but I'm talking about here. I'm talking about things like pricing, and you have to, in theory, you have to consider things like your lighting and heating at home, where you're working from, the tools that you use, the cost to not only to buy things like the rings, but the delivery on them, the time that you will spend going down to the post office to post things, the internet line that you broadcast on, that you order your stuff with, the computer that you use it for. I know at the moment, it's kind of like you already have those, but at some point in the future they need replacing, and that's all part of the business costs. You caught part of the tail. He went right under the camera. He went right that way and across. So he got caught on both cameras. Yeah, let's turn that up there. Yeah, well, don't forget your wage. You have to pay yourself. Well, I suppose strictly speaking you don't, but as a business you would do. Yeah, you say essential business tools. And unfortunately, when some of the people who sell some items, jewellery is typically one who make it as a hobby. All they're then doing is selling it just for cost of materials, and you end up having to compete with that as well, which is really hard. Here I am ranting about business. Well, strictly speaking, you do write off your tools. Or write them down and then write them off. Obviously, what you want to pay yourself. You kind of don't really want to be broadcasting that sort of thing. I know what you're having a conversation, Claire, and we are, but if your customers are watching, they then start to try and work out what the value is that they think they're getting. Yes, thank you very much. If you were employing somebody, you'd have to pay minimum wage, and there would have to be things like national insurance contributions, and may or may not be pension contributions. But so whilst you work for yourself, you don't need to actually pay those sorts of things. Although you should consider things like the national insurance. Anyway, just to keep your entitlements going. You tax-wise, you can offset things like tools and materials, so that does help. True. I'm true. Yeah. Sometimes I kind of don't like using the phone when I'm typing things. A, because it's a heck of a lot slower. I can touch type, so I find keyboard a lot better. But the what it thinks that you might be typing is mostly not what I'm actually typing, and it then becomes irritating. And okay, I've got an iPhone. I have an iPhone because I had an iPad, and I've got an iPad because of other things that are I'm not particularly a fan or otherwise of Apple. It just happened to be an ecosystem which suited the situation. But one of the things that always annoys me is I can spell, and I can type almost as quick as the auto suggestion works, and it will suggest something, and I'll think I spelt something wrong, which I don't know what phone, but he sort of puts it somewhere on the suggestion bar. And because it thinks you spelled it wrong, you have to select the. I'll put in what you want if you really want me to, but you got to select that one. Otherwise, it just goes ahead and corrects your spelling, which wasn't quite what I wanted. And I'm forever doing that. And then you send the tweet or what, and you go, oh nah. Oh, I can't. Not on the phone. Can't touch type on the phone. Not a glass keyboard. I can't. The older things like he says now trying to remember his old phones, but any of the old phones that had real keyboards, and I'm trying to think of the business phone that had a QWERTY keyboard on it. Those I can touch. Those I can type without looking because I can feel the keys. But a glass keyboard, nah. I can't remember what comic it was. Sorry, magazine. It was where not so long ago I came across them. Came across an article in one of them, which was about this new invention where you put a box on the table and it projected a keyboard onto the desk, and then you just typed on the desk. So wherever you put the box down and it projected the keyboard, you had a keyboard, virtual keyboard. And it was about how I remember seeing one of those things about 20 years ago. And it, these days it was driven by LEDs. Back then it was an actual laser, and it was still a small box, but I was just that touch typing thing then just reminded me of that, and how all these brand new innovations are not actually that much very innovative. BlackBerry, that's the one I was thinking of. Thank you. Yeah. At least you get a full-size keyboard, but and you can touch type on it. It is they are quite clever to recognise that you're not typing, even though you've got your hands in the home position. But you need the space. The thing about them is you need to have the desk space, and they're kind of power hungry. And you can get folding USB keyboards that fold up quite almost as small as the box, almost, and are a lot more reliable. They weren't fantastically reliable when I first thought they worked, but if you to sort of get used to typing with it as opposed to just typing, and of course you've got no feedback on the desk. I mean, if you try putting your fingers on the desk now and typing, you're tapping, but you've got no real feedback as to whether you've hit the key right or anything like that, and it takes a lot of practice. Nice toys, but nice toys. It's one of those things that looks great, you buy, but you probably end up never using. You use it for a few months, couple of months, and then find that you never actually use it again. You start reverting to real keyboards and things like that. Okay, well, I've made a good start. That bit isn't very good. That's the bit I started with tonight. It just but then and I'm making this up as I go along. So I don't know quite what to do in there, but fill it in, then shade it. A bit like I've done on that side, but you are right. You've got another new logo. I saw one the other day. I can't remember what it was, but I suppose I ought to really do something about. Well, I can't point at mine. I suppose I can point at mine. That one there, which now looks weird on the main screen. But if you look at the ZA, I should turn that into a proper logo. But yeah, I changed mine recently. Well, not the overlays. Oh, your kitty cat. Okay. I actually have taken a lot of the overlays away. And played about with the size of this main window here, so that afterwards I can grab just this main window here, and it's about the right sort of size, so that I can do something like a time lapse without having stuff appearing all over the screen. And I can then do things like revoice it and stuff like that, which would be difficult otherwise. So thinking ahead. I ought to do something about the wall of text, but that's a bit hard. You've got RatCam. If you would like to try and design something, you are quite welcome to present ideas. I would, were I to want to use it, I would expect a perpetual license for zero cost. You can retain the copyright, but I would expect a perpetual license for any purpose at zero cost. RatCam. I'll have to see if I can catch them. No, nothing in particular. Nothing really. Free reign, Claire. Yeah, you got Zaraganat, ZA. Play with the ideas. I don't mind. I just haven't. I kind of haven't really had time to do it. I mean, there's the obvious joining of ZA together as a logo, but well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. The colours that I've got at the moment, cyan is a colour I just like, so it's not quite cyan. I know it's darker than that, but I kind of just picked that because it sort of stands out a little bit. But I've also got to think, well, as you will know, logos aren't just simply something that has to look good on a screen, or you have to have variations of it, because what looks good on a screen doesn't print very well sometimes and things like that. And what looks good in print doesn't look good on screen. You've got to be able to sort of not make it jump out of people, and I'm not a designer. I'm kind of glad I'm not a designer. That sort of what do you call them? Graphic designers. Not my skill set. I can artist, if that's a verb, but not necessarily graphic design. It's like me listening to music. It's kind of I listen to what I like, and if I like something, I listen to it, but I don't go. It has to be a particular band or a particular style or something like that. Where did I get the Zaraganat thing at the end? Oh, that's true. You've never been here early enough to see it at the start either, have you? That was done by one of the viewers. tell you. I do want to use the right name here. So if I go and look at my email list, I will mention the correct name. My memory, you say, really terrible. He did two for me. There's the one that you see at the end, which is a static, just pop out. Sort of just you see the full frame. The one at the start tracks, and it does the same thing. He also did me a you know, Lord of the Rings, the One Ring. He's also got, it's a static picture, is that one, but it's a ring on a rock in a forest, which in the glowing rune letters says Zerrigan, which is really cool. I must get that one up on the website. I really must get that one up on the website. And okay, I shall look at my email. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I just cannot recall. Yeah, but that's his real name. I'm not using that one. Fear Reaper. Fear Reaper 7. Oh, Fear Reaper. Is it Fear Reaper 7 on here? Let's see if I can show the picture. See if I can grab this. I know it's 10:15, but let me add a window capture of, no, not that window, that one I think it is. There we go. That's just a static. He was doing rendering, 3D design and render. I can't remember what application he did it in now. So he did the two videos, and then the ring. Knew nothing about it at all. He just presented them, and they're absolutely fantastic. And basically, as soon as I was able, they're incorporated into both the start and the end sequence as I do it. They're on some of the online videos, and I want to get that picture up there as well. Yeah, whether it's French, German, English or whatever, I agree with that. Mind you, it wouldn't tell me what the letters either side mean or inside, but yeah, I love that picture. I think that's absolutely amazing. I like the colour, but I think it's absolutely amazing. It is a kind of, you could pick that up, if you could physically reach into the picture. That the perspective and everything is perfect, reflections and everything. It's absolutely absolutely amazing. So let me get rid of that one. So we're back to there. Yes, it is indeed, and thank you again for that compliment. It is past my bedtime, or getting past my bedtime. It may well be that it will have to be in the future. Yeah, I didn't know they'd actually made up an actual translation as such. I know there is for the Zelda stuff, which a lot of people like. So things like that. And I can translate that. But I can't remember what that says. I'm looking at that now and I can't remember. Oh yes, I can. Yeah, it's obvious. Oh yes, of course it is. It's Elven, isn't it? Yeah. It is the sort of thing I'd probably have done as well. Writing something like Elven. It's like the people that learnt Klingon. And I think it's kind of amazing that has actually almost become well, it is a language, and people learn Klingon, and actually, I won't say it's an official language, but I think it's been recognised as a language, and people actually sort of develop the language. There's dictionaries and books are written in it and all sorts. But it's hard on the voice, I understand. I mean, I think it was amazing that the Klingon that is used in the, I think it's in the series and in the, well, certainly the films, is actually real Klingon. They actually, you know, the bloke who sort of came up with using the Klingon language actually came up with the Klingon language, and what they say actually means something. You know, they're not just making it up as they go along to sound Klingon-ish. It's actually real Klingon words. But yes, that's this is the what's the language called in Zelda? Hyrulean, something like that. So that I know that says Zaraganart, and if I remember rightly, looking at it, that says Zelda in Hyrulean. Oh, but I don't know if anybody's interested in Hyrulean plaques. They are available. I sort of think I will have to put that in the. There's lots of tuits involved here. Lots and lots of tuits. I need lots of them. That and a lot of time as well. But things like that are available. If anybody's interested, drop me a message. Here, Twitch, Twitter, Zaraganart, or on Etsy. Ah dear. Yeah. Oh, that's why I did that one, wasn't it? Yes, I can't find the other thing that was done. It's around here somewhere. It's around here somewhere safe. Because a certain person was interested in it, but I think I ought to sort of maybe put it on the shop. Indeed, that's right. That's what I was looking for. Don't know where it's gone. I know I've put it somewhere safe. And having done the boxes, that's when I did those two. I remember on stream. Had everybody guessing. Did that one first, and then had everybody guessing what that one was. Okay. I understand. I know it's safe, but anyway. Okay. Ah. Well, I've read what you've said, and I won't say anything. You might want to clear your screen. Well, that I can understand. That's what I was thinking without saying it. I was trying to think of how to say exactly that. And of course, I suppose if I just carry on rambling, it goes out of people's perceptions. But yeah, I will make sure I have it somewhere safe. But as you pointed out 25 minutes ago, or 20 minutes ago, back then it was 2 minutes to 10, I'm having fun. Okay, but he's hearing me. Where's that window? I wonder how many viewers I've got. A little bit of teasing coming up, maybe. Yeah. It's only got more than one viewer. So there's other people besides you watching, Claire. Okay, but unfortunately, guys, those of you who are watching, I'm having fun, but it is the end of the stream, I'm afraid. We have spent quite a bit of time doing pyrography, but also talking about jewellery. Claire there also does paper cuts, some really intricate, beautiful paper cuts. Check out Clary Bug. But before you do that, have a check at my website there, zaragonart.com, and of course, as it's been mentioned a few times, the Etsy shop. Zaragonart.etsy.com is the short way to get to it. There's some lovely jewellery like the stuff that you're seeing in the window there. And some really pretty stuff in there as well. Actually, this weekend I'll get things like this up there, and this lovely crystal, Swarovski crystal. I describe it as a Valentine's bracelet, but it's just a lovely red Swarovski crystal bracelet. Would be great for Valentine's, but also for any occasion as well. So check out the shop, take a look. I'd say it's fantastic. It's my shop, I would do. Were you to want to try and see me again in the future doing more of this pyrography, next after this will be carving. Not sure what, maybe an owl, we shall see. Then feel free to follow me here on Twitch. That way it'll notify you if you let it when I go live. Hopefully tomorrow night. I generally try and stream 7 nights a week, but unfortunately work circumstances at the moment mean that sometimes I can't. You can also follow me on Twitter. It's @ZaragonArt. Tweets go out when I go live, if I can't make a stream, and odd other interesting things like, hey, I've just put this in the shop. Other than that, if I am on tomorrow night, it will be approximately 8 PM UK time, 2000 hours UTC or GMT. They are both the same. Or 2.5 hours ago, roughly, give or take a few minutes, in whatever time zone you're in. So, with that, thank you all. Hope to see you in the studio again in the future. And now Claire gets to see the video render with the outro of Zaragonart popping out of a block of wood. One of these days I'll probably carve that for real. Bye for now.